For years, executives promised remote work was the future, until they looked around their half-empty buildings and realized no one was watching anyone anymore. Suddenly, return to office. Not because productivity fell, not because customers complained, not because revenue collapsed, but because managers couldn't see people. That's the truth hiding underneath modern corporate culture. Control theater. If offices actually created productivity, we'd see it in the data. We don't. Bloom's Ctrip experiment, remote workers produced 13% more, quit less, and were happier. No magical building, no innovation vortex, just the freedom to work without being stared at. Executives lived through 2020 to 2023. Their companies worked, many performed better, so why force people back into traffic, into fluorescent light warehouses, into commutes that burn 5 to 10 hours every week? Because presence is easier to manage than performance, let's be honest. Proximity bias. Managers trust what they can physically see, even if it's someone pretending to work. Managerial insecurity. If your team functions fine without you hovering, the hierarchy feels threatened. The religion of the building. Companies spent billions on real estate. Empty space looks like failure, and narrative control. The office is not about collaboration, it's about compliance. A reminder, you work here, we own your time. This isn't strategy, it's a dominance ritual. Meanwhile, workers pay the price. Remote workers save $5,000 to $10,000 a year. They save 1 to 2 hours every day on commuting. Less fuel, less childcare, less stress, more life. Forcing them back without a pay increase is a silent pay cut, a tax on existence, and workers know it. Only 10 to 12% want to be full-time in office. Almost half would quit if forced back 5 days. Hybrid wins every metric: happiness, engagement, retention. The math is not subtle. And companies pay too. The best people leave. The rest disengage. Innovation slows. Hiring gets harder. Morale collapses. You cannot build a high-performance culture on resentment and wasted time. Control theater is expensive, and unlike real productivity, automation, clarity, architecture, process, it produces nothing. Here's the secret no executive will admit. They don't want to manage outcomes. They want to manage presence. Attendance is easier to measure than results. And the office still has one last function: ritualized supervision. People are herded back into buildings so managers can feel like managers again. Not for performance, not for collaboration, not for culture, just for the emotional comfort of seeing subordinates. It's Plato's cave. With better laptops, the future belongs to companies that reject this, companies that automate aggressively, measure outcomes, reward quality, not presence, trust adults instead of babysitting them, build systems, not surveillance. These organizations will outrun the ones trapped in psychological theater. Control theater is a dead religion. It just doesn't know it yet. And me? I don't work anymore because once you see the machine, you can't unsee it. The workplace isn't designed for results. It's designed for hierarchy, for rituals that look like productivity but aren't. If you focus on value, not optics, you become a threat. So I stepped out of the theater. Now I write about it. If companies truly cared about performance, they'd measure it. If they cared about happiness, they'd allow autonomy. If they cared about innovation, they'd eliminate the commute tax. If they cared about talent, they'd stop the control games. But they don't, because the modern office isn't an engine of productivity. It's a stage.